Well, I'm not 100% sold yet.
Okay, have you considered...
It's fine, Flo. She's not interested. I get it. Not everyone wants to save money.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
Renters and homeowners can bundle and save. For what? A trip to Bora Bora? Bora boring.
Okay, you know what? I'm in.
She's all yours. Want some tacos?
Nah, I'm not really in the mood.
Yeah, you're right. It's so messy. All the napkins, those different toppings.
Actually, I'm in.
Yeah, you are.
Day 4 of the 2023 American Legion World Series begins here at Keeter Stadium. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. Ellsworth, Maine looking for their first win here in Shelby. And League City, Texas already assured its spot in the semifinals, trying to get to 3-0. First game of a triple header today here in Shelby, North Carolina. Let's get you down to the field for the opening ceremonies and the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We are set for a Sunday triple header here at the American Legion World Series. The boys from League City, Texas began their tournament with a no-hitter and then knocked out the defending national champions. What do they have in store for game number 3 against the men from Maine? We are about to find out. Later today, Cedar Rapids trying to stay alive against Lincoln, Nebraska. Brooklawn, New Jersey, the all-time winningest Legion program, also fighting for its life against 2-0 Florence, South Carolina. We got an exciting Sunday of baseball, and we say good afternoon once again. Evan Lepler with Steve Woodard. This is day 4. Day 1 was the record-breaking day. Day 2 was for walk-offs.
Right.
Day 3, we got struck by lightning.
We did.
What sort of shenanigans do you have planned for day 4?
Hopefully some good baseball. I tell you, we've seen everything, I think, man.
Well, this Texas team has really set the standard the first couple games. They've been impressive both on the mound and at the plate with timely hitting.
Yeah, they have. You know, they're already in the semifinals. We're going to see what they're going to do today with pitching. Maine would love to get out of here with a win. You know, they played better yesterday, but looking good for the matchup.
Appreciate you lending me your American Legion baseball. I feel like I'm back in the groove already. Texas will be taking the field first. This is not a game that has any consequence for this League City team in terms of semifinal pool placement. They have already clinched their spot atop the Stars pool. They'll play in the second semifinal tomorrow night, and yet it's a special opportunity for Tyler Austin to get a chance to take the mound. What do you expect from Tyler?
Yeah, he's going to throw that fastball low 80s. You know, he'll pitch to contact. In the regional, he was 0-1 with a 4.20 ERA in 5 innings, and you know, he's looking to just kind of save some pitching for Texas, and where they'll be ready for tomorrow night.
And look, this Ellsworth, Maine team had a rough first game at this tournament and then played a really tight battle with Cheyenne, Wyoming. 1-1 into the 7th, a pitcher's duel, and Brad Fieser ended up being the winning pitcher at Ellsworth's expense. Hunter Curtis will be the starting pitcher today for Maine's going to lead it off. He's 1 for 4 at the plate. He has driven in 3 of Maine's 4 runs scored in their first 2 games. And here we go, Sunday baseball in Shelby, North Carolina. And ball 1 misses down low to Tyler, from Tyler Austin to Hunter Curtis, as we get a matchup of the 2 pitchers on the first plate appearance of the game. You don't see that very often.
Very rarely do you ever see it.
I don't think Shohei Ohtani's ever batted leadoff for the Angels, has he?
No, he hasn't. And he's a good one.
That would be a change of pace. Lake City, Texas, 2-0 here at the American Legion World Series. They went 4-0 behind Jacob Sears' masterpiece, and then coming from behind against Alabama in somewhat shocking fashion. I mean, they were down the whole game. Get 3 runs in the top of the 7th and prevail with a dominant finish. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Curtis.
Yeah, that was a good rematch of last year, and you know, as we know now, Alabama's out of it. The defending World Series champions got put out last night.
Just outside, ball 3. Hunter Curtis, the 2-run homer in Maine's first game here in Shelby. Game that was marred by the base on balls. That's in there for a called 3rd strike. John Flanagan says we will not begin with a walk today, and instead rings up Curtis looking, and Hunter's probably thinking, as long as I get that pitch when I'm on the mound, I'm okay with it.
Yes, it is. And there we saw Tyler Austin's good fastball there on the inside part of the plate.
So here's Miles Palmer. He's looking for his first hit here at the World Series. He's 0 for 6. Austin, the lefty, delivers.
Wow.
That's a beautiful pitch right there. Well placed. Back-to-back called 3rd strikes.
And we've seen a lot of strikeouts here in this World Series. Record's been broken twice, and here we go with Tyler Austin's fastball just pretty much right down the middle of the plate right there, Evan.
First pitch swinging. Peter Kablinski fouls it off. We've seen Kablinski on the mound. He'll be the starting shortstop today.
And he pitched great yesterday. Just kind of ran out of pitches yesterday. And
he and Feeser.
I know one thing, if this pitcher here, Tyler Austin, for Ronnie Oliver, if he's his fourth, fifth, sixth best pitcher, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing the other guys.
Grounded to short where Chase Bourgeois gobbles it up and fires to first, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Tyler Austin on the mound. After half an inning, Ellsworth, Maine, nothing, and the boys from League City, Texas coming up.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
Just being surrounded by great people. I mean, I've been fortunate throughout my life since I was a little kid to have great people in my life. So not only growing up, but with the Legion baseball, we're surrounded by great people that demonstrated the right characteristics that you need to be a good person going forward. So it definitely helped out.
You can feel the history at the American Legion World Series, and Ellsworth, Maine looking for its first win here in Shelby. There's Hunter Curtis, just finished his freshman year at Husson University, where he was named the Rookie of the Year in the North Atlantic Conference. Division III program in Bangor, Maine. He pitched a bunch in high school, didn't pitch at all in college, was exclusively a right fielder, but back on the mound for his Legion ball team, and he's thrown pretty well through the regionals to get them here to North Carolina. Kyler Thompson, in his second year at the World Series, continues to be a thorn in his opponent's side. He's got 2 hits in each of League City's 2 games, so that makes him 4 for 6. He's scored 3 runs, he's driven in a run, he's drawn a walk. He has to be one of the several League City standouts that's in contention for tournament MVP as we head into the business end of this week.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, he's made some great plays in the outfield and done it all.
Kablinski at short takes care of Thompson for the opening out. Chase Bourgeois made the catch for the final out of League City's no-hitter on Thursday afternoon, set to step in. I mean, for Ronnie Oliver, you can't have scripted a better start to this tournament. You throw a no-hitter in game 1, and then you come from behind against the team that eliminated you last year, and this League City team has to be riding high into this game. What do you think the mentality is, Steve? I mean, this game, you'd love to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough game. I mean, they want to win. Ronnie Oliver this morning said he wanted to win. He wanted to go 3-0 here and then go into tomorrow, ready to go. But I tell you what, I think he's sitting pretty good after watching Tyler Austin here. And I'm curious to see what else he has. And then, if they win tomorrow, they got Jacob Sear coming back on Tuesday.
That's right. No one's ever thrown 2 no-hitters in a World Series.
That is.
Little flare into shallow left, but it's the shortstop Kablinski making the athletic play. He got a great first step on that ball, and he hauls it in for out number 2.
Wow, he's an athlete and do it all. Pitch, hit, and playing shortstop there. That's a tough play right there. Evan, him turning his back right there and going straight back and reaching over the head. Great play, Peter Kablinski.
Off the bat, Bourgeois had to think he had a little jam shot in the left center. So 2 down for Jackson Higgins, who's 2 for 5 here at the Legion World Series. Both of his hits have been for extra bases. He's quickly behind 0-2 here, fouled that pitch off himself. Both pitchers have come out throwing strikes. Hunter Curtis on the mound for Ellsworth, Maine. Hunter's dad, Dan, played for Ellsworth, Maine Legion ball team back in his day. This one popped back our way over the roof. Just the third ever team from Maine to make it all the way to the American Legion World Series. Higgins again fouls it off to stay alive.
And he was a big reason that they ended up beating Alabama the other night.
I mean, if you're Alabama, you're eliminated 2 heartbreaking 1-run losses.
In the bottom of the 7th.
But it's sort of a taste of what they did to everyone else last year.
Yes, it is.
0-2, line right at the second baseman, Drew Cody. And both pitchers are through clean first innings. We've got no score in our first of 3 games today here at Shelby. Quick look at the defense for League City, Texas on John Doe Thompson and Raker Allen left to right in the outfield. Higgins in the hot corner with Bourgeois at short. Shuttlesworth gets the start at second base today with Bryce Smith at first. And Robinson doing the catching for Austin. Ferraro, welcome to the graphic. You're not playing defense, but we want to show your name anyway.
Curious there to see what Leo Curiel was talking to Tyler Austin about in there in between innings, was showing him something on the rubber.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I think it's about both feet touching the rubber, but you know, we've had several guys here at this World Series. As long as they establish they're going to be pitching in the windup, they've not had both feet touching the rubber. So it's very interesting. I saw Tyler Austin make an adjustment, moving more over on the rubber after he come out and talked to him.
I know for you, walking onto the mound is a religious experience. Anything you notice immediately about the structure of this particular mound? There's a little bit of a difference to every mound.
You know, I've asked guys. I mean, the grounds crew does a great job with everything, and they said some guys say it's flat, some guys think it's tall. I mean, everybody has a different preference. Everybody has a different opinion. So, very nice job here by the grounds crew.
I guess when you're throwing BP, you're not standing on the mound.
No, you're in front. But.
David Baugh leads off here in the second. Bourgeois to his right at shortstop. That's an impressive throw, moving off balance. 4 up, 4 down to start for Tyler Austin, the right-hander, the left-hander on the mound for League City, Texas. Here's Andre Lozano.
Right fielder, number 5.
1 for 2 so far at the Legion World Series. Had a hit in game 1, did not play in game 2. Brad Smith, the 23-year-old first-year head coach for this Ellsworth, Maine team, definitely mixing up the lineup a little bit today. Brad Smith said this was an experience of a lifetime and wanting to give all of his players the opportunity. In foul ground, Bryce Smith makes the play. Plenty of room in foul territory here. Pitchers got to like that.
Yes, we do. Great job of Bryce Smith getting over there and getting under that. See him running over there looking for that brick wall and just stop just right before it.
I think Brad Smith has to be one of the youngest head coaches to lead a team to the American Legion World Series all time.
Yeah, he is. I was trying to remember anybody that would be any younger that we've had over the last, 6 or 7 years, and he's a young one. Good coach.
Yeah.
Enjoys it.
Played at Thomas College in Waterville, Maine. He actually played for Hunter Curtis's father, Dan, growing up. 0-2. And Craig Burnett stays alive. Austin needed just 13 pitches in the first inning, and he's got a chance to have an even more efficient second inning. 2-2 now to Burnett. League City will play at 7 p.m. tomorrow night in the second semifinal. That is for sure. And the count runs full now on Burnett.
And they'll just be patiently waiting today to kind of see what's going to happen with all the other stuff.
Yeah, they probably won't know who they're playing until
late.
All the games are done tonight.
Hopefully before midnight, Evan, you know.
That's the plan. So Austin gets a little touch of rosin and retakes the hill for the payoff to Burnett. That will do it. Third strikeout for Tyler Austin. And he's got a fantastic couple innings in the books. How about that for paint on 3-2?
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
American Legion just gives people a chance to play baseball, you know, at the high school level, and even some kids that come back from college if you're eligible. And I think, you know, for me it was a good way to kind of put myself out there a little bit, and I'm playing against a little higher competition, and that's what I needed going through high school, and you know, it was just it's a great, I mean, it's great. I had a good, I mean, Legion ball for me was huge.
Scoreless through 1.5. A look at the defense for the Trenton Acadians from Ellsworth, Maine. Howie, Palmer, Lozano in the outfield. Bach, Koblinski, Cody, and Burnett behind Curtis on the mound. And it's Brett Bragdon, one of the Bragdon brothers on this Ellsworth, Maine team, doing the catching. Brad Smith, the manager. Josh Jackson, his assistant. And here's Bryce Smith, who had one of the big hits in the first game for League City, Texas, a 2-run double.
Yeah, right down the left field line.
All the offense they needed when Jacob Sear was throwing the way he did.
You know, and it was good yesterday. We were able to have Jacob Sear up here in the booth yesterday for an inning, and you know, that had to be cool for him.
Cool for you too.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed talking with him, and he was a little nervous, but he did a very, very good job. He's not nervous on the mound.
No. He was less nervous in the booth than I would be on the mound. Little flare out to left. This is trouble, and it falls in front of Howie for a leadoff single. So Bryce Smith now 3 for 7 here in Shelby, and a leadoff man on for League City.
Number 15, Aiden Raker Allen.
Aiden Raker Allen steps in. He's 2 for 6, a single and a double in his first 2 games. Swing and a miss. Where is League City? It is in between Houston and Galveston.
Very hot there.
Yes, indeed. It was once called Clear Creek, and then John Charles League, who was a Galveston businessman, bought some land and renamed it after himself. That's how it went from Clear Creek to League City in 1893.
But they still use Clear Creek High School as the name of the high school.
That's right. That explains that. Swinging and tip into the catcher's mitt. Raker Allen becomes the first strikeout victim of the day for Hunter Curtis. And Ronnie Oliver has been a League City lifer, 3.5 decades as either the head coach or an assistant with this League City Legion program. He's got them in a great position to contend for a championship here in Shelby this year. That one tapped just foul down the third base line. Woody, I'm curious to ask you, coming into today, if you look at 2-0 League City and 2-0 Florence, South Carolina, can you say which one you feel is maybe the favorite or which one has been more impressive through their first 2 games?
You know what? They're very, very similar pitchers. You got to look at Jacob Sear. Look at the pitcher. Jacob Sear, no hitter. You look at Aiden Palmer. He had the record until last night. He struck out 14 his first game and threw a shutout.
Yeah, how about that? The record lasted about 48 hours.
48. I said it'd never be broken, and it was broken 48 hours later. And you know, it's the hitting wise. I mean, I think League City, Texas is more of a situational type team, and I think South Carolina is more of a, you know, they can hurt you real quick with a home run or something.
High bouncer to the left side. It's a foul ball. Hunter Curtis, fortunate that that ball was fouled because that was going to be a really tough play. Jackson Higgins, the third baseman, came in charging, but that was a Titanic chopper. Long pause, now the 1-2, and it's just outside.
Good pitch. Just barely missed the corner there.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Ferraro. And he goes down swinging. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Hunter Curtis.
Yeah, it's his second strikeout of the day, and I tell you what, he's throwing the ball extremely well.
The catcher.
Especially when you consider that he didn't pitch at all during his college season.
Yeah, and you see that curved ball there by Hunter Curtis getting him out front.
Committed to being an everyday outfielder at his college level, but opportunity to reclimb the hill and looking pretty good. I just wonder if we may see Hunter Curtis on the mound at Husson University next year.
You may, after they're seeing what he can do here. You know, now it might be a whole total different situation. We'd have saw him on the mound starting, you know, the very first day against Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, you take away, you know, what were there, 15 walks, 16 walks or whatever? You take away half of those walks, you never know what might happen.
Yeah, it was tough. And, you know, Brad Smith didn't have any really explanation for it either.
He just
talked about the heat, the humidity. We're not used to it, but he said we usually throw strikes. It was not a common thing. Well hit ball out to left by Tyler Robinson, and it's over Howie's head. And with 2 outs, Smith was off on the crack of the bat. Throw coming home. It's late, and League City, Texas strikes first. 1-0 for the boys from the Lone Star State. First hit here in Shelby for Tyler Robinson is an RBI double.
Yeah, and he really got into that one, just got the left fielder turned around just a bit, and that was just enough to get Bryce Smith to where he could score all the way from first base.
Second baseman, number 19, James Shuttlesworth.
So after the leadoff single, back-to-back strikeouts, Robinson with the biggest swing of the day so far. James Shuttlesworth takes ball one from Hunter Curtis. Quick glance at second, and ball two is up high. Shuttlesworth making his first appearance of the American Legion World Series for League City. Ellsworth sporting the camo jerseys today, as are the umpires.
Yeah, they look good.
Umpires looking fresh.
Yes, they are.
2-1. And it's down and away. I don't know, Woody. I don't know if you got some connections, but I would wear one of those umpire
I like them.
camos.
Yeah, they look good. You see Leo Curiel right there.
Nice semis tomorrow, you and me. We can figure out a connect.
I'll see what I can do.
If you can't get one, then no one can. That's a foul ball off the bat of Shuttlesworth.
You got the American flag on the back of the neck.
Yeah, they're smooth. There's just so many little things that go into this event that make it special, make it pop. Called third strike at the belt. Flanagan rings up Shuttlesworth, so Hunter Curtis strikes out the side, but also allows the game's first run. Tyler Robinson makes a 1-0 game through 2.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
This memory, man, we played some good games, and I remember out in St. Pete, Clearwater, just getting in the car and traveling with the guys, whether it was going 30 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, it was almost like you felt like you were in the big leagues, because you were getting in a car with your friends and parents or whatever, and driving to a different part of the state to play against a different team that you knew absolutely nothing about them. Then you get out and you're both competing out there trying to win.
Luis Gonzalez with one of the most famous hits in World Series history. 2001 against the Yankees. I will say, as a Red Sox fan, and at that point in my life, had never seen the Red Sox win, I was all aboard the Diamondback bandwagon and thrilled that Arizona stole that World Series from Mariano Rivera and the Yanks.
And who was the guy that scored the game-winning run?
I can picture him coming home.
The manager of the Milwaukee Brewers?
That's right. Yeah, Craig Counsell.
Yeah, Craig Counsell. There you go.
I can picture the arms in the air. It speaks also to Mariano Rivera's greatness that he can, give up the game-winning hit to that World Series and give up the game-tying runs in Game 4, the 0-4, and he's still regarded as the best there ever was, and probably the best there ever will be for that particular job.
Game of failure.
Drew Cody, the second baseman, steps in. And a big swing and a miss. 1-0 League City, leading Ellsworth, Maine. Evan Lepler with Steve Woodard. pitched for the Brewers and the Indians and the Red Sox and the Rangers.
And the A's.
That's right.
And the Phillies and the Cardinals and
You got a cool,
everywhere.
cool jersey
Who did I not
collection.
pitch for?
Called third strike there on Drew Cody. And that's the fourth strikeout
Yeah.
for Tyler Austin.
Yeah, he's making it look easy. Smooth left-handed pitcher there. Fourth strikeout, like you said, of today.
You casually throw out that phrase, game of failure.
Yeah. You know, I do always. I mean, how are you going to handle it when you mess up? You know, you can't worry about what just happened. You got to worry about the next pitch, next at bat.
When in your professional career, was it maybe in the minors or in the majors, where did you really kind of experience that adversity that you had to overcome?
I get first year, probably in the second year in the minor leagues. My first year I was 8-0. Second year I was struggling at the All-Star break. Second year, and then, you know, kind of just figured it out. You know, struggled a little bit, and then came back from it. Had a good end of the year, and then
Popped up, shallow right. Shuttlesworth, the second baseman, hauls it in. 2 down.
And then from that point on, it was, you know, I was in the big leagues at 22 years old. Just very fortunate.
In that second year, when you were struggling at the All-Star break, how did you maintain a solid kind of mental attitude going to the park every day?
It was hard because I was so young, so I really didn't know how to. So I had to, you know, listen to people that had been there and been in that situation before, and had a great pitching coach by the name of Mike Caldwell that pitched in big leagues for like 20 years. So sometimes we don't listen to people until you struggle.
That's right.
And I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, it's the truth. And when you have struggles, you need to have who you go to and listen to him, and took to heart everything he said, and that was it.
Do you remember anything particular that he told you? Was it more about your pitching or more about your brain?
It wasn't anything to do with pitching. That's what the crazy thing is most of it has all to do with everything inside your, you know, the air between your ears. And, you know, this is a mental game, tough game. And the best athletes in the world are the ones that can figure out how to understand that, you know, you're going to fail in baseball, you know, 70% of the time.
Tyler Austin looking to mow down his 9th consecutive hitter, and he does just that. 5 strikeouts in 3 perfect innings for Tyler Austin. Where do these guys come from?
Hey, and one more.
No, I think we got it.
Yeah, let's focus on the RV. Come on.
RV?
Okay, everybody look at the RV and smile.
This is what you want for your family portrait?
Good point. We bundled the boat with our home and auto first. Hey, team, get on in here.
Team? Oh. Fun.
Now everyone say 24/7 financial protection with Progressive.
24/7 financial protection with Progressive.
Okay.
Let's get some singles in me on the bike. Honey?
Yeah.
Has this happened to you? You get roped in with phone offers that bind you to a 3-year device contract. Break free with T-Mobile, introducing Go 5G Plus, the first plan that always gives new and existing customers the same great device deals, and you're upgrade ready in 2 years versus 3. Right now, bring T-Mobile your phone and get the amazing iPhone 14 on us. Trapped. Free.
Get the amazing iPhone 14 on us.
Trapped. Free.
Hunter Curtis back to the mound for Ellsworth, Maine. There's something going on with the second base umpire, Leo Curiel. He spotted something with the pitcher's delivery, and he and the other umpires have been talking about it, and he was just talking about it with various coaches.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what's going on?
I don't, actually. I mean, I think he's talking about being connected to the rubber when he's starting off, but I mean, I've seen all these pitchers here in this series, as long as they establish the windup, because I even asked, you know, about Kablinski, how he was starting in the windup, even with a runner on base. So I don't know. I'd love to hear what's going on with it, and maybe I'll learn something.
Number 9 hitter for League City, Texas, Eric Anchondo chops the first pitch to second base, where Drew Cody takes care of it.
Leadoff hitter, center fielder number 2, Tyler Thompson.
You know what? I think Colin Sullivan took over at second base for Cody. It's a little tricky today because the camo jerseys are different numbers, but there was a substitution made defensively, and it was Colin Sullivan, who's a young kid, 2026 projected grad, Mount Desert Island High School. Lake City back to the top of the order for Kyler Thompson. Tell you what, it was surprising in the first inning when he didn't get on base. I mean, he's more often than not he's gotten on base.
Yes, he has. You know, and yesterday when Jacob Sear was up here, we were talking about that. You know, in that no-hitter, Thompson saved that no-hitter there in the second inning. A line drive hit to center field, and he made a diving catch to save him. You don't realize that there early in the game. That might be what does it.
I love what Jacob Sears said after the game about how he was looking at that 0 in the hit column every single inning, but no one else was talking about it, so he just kind of kept to himself. And of course, who's going to go to him and be like, "Hey, Jacob, you see what you're doing?" 3-2 pitch popped up into foul ground down the first base line, and Colin Sullivan with his second straight play in the field after coming in for the defensive replacement.
The shortstop number 1, Chase Bourgeois.
Bourgeois, first pitch hunting, fouls one back. And off the pitcher's mitt, Curtis tries to recover and throws it away. And a couple steps towards second, and then Bourgeois retreats back to first.
Hopefully he's okay. He slipped. I think that was he would have actually probably had him if he wouldn't have slipped on the you know, rained a lot yesterday and everything. And let's see, did good. He stopped it, and he still had plenty of time, but right as he got to it, he slipped, and hopefully he didn't hurt himself.
Looks to be okay. And this, if that happened to you, would you be thinking like your cleats betrayed you?
I'd be a big man hitting the ground. I tell you what, I don't know if I'd get up. Oh, I've had some bloopers, I tell you what, over the years. But
Third baseman number 12, Jackson Higgins.
I wasn't going to bring him up.
I was on this, remember This Week in Baseball, right?
Of course.
Oh, I slipped on a pitch and threw the ball backwards.
Like into center field?
I threw it backwards on the pitch, yeah. Slipped, and my right foot went out from underneath me, and the ball just completely went backwards.
Was there anybody on base?
No, nobody was on base.
Where did the ball end up?
It's like around second base.
That was ball one or ball two?
Yeah, ball one. If I just held on to it.
Did he come back and get the hitter after giving him the
I
free
don't remember. I was kind of embarrassed, but I heard about that for a long time.
Line to the shortstop, and it's Kablinski making a leaping catch to retire the side. Bourgeois got credit for the infield single, but he stranded at first, and Hunter Curtis can smile about it in a 1-0 game. Well, League City, Texas already has a no-hitter here at the American Legion World Series, but Tyler Austin is trying to do something even better. He's gotten the first 9 batters in this game. No base runners yet as we head into the 4th inning for Ellsworth, Maine.
Yeah, he's looking good.
And he's gotten 5 strikeouts, and they all have been called third strikes. No swinging third strikes.
Painting the corners and throwing strikes.
It's been impressive. Here comes Hunter Curtis. He's throwing the ball pretty well too. He's allowed just 3 hits through 3 innings, only the 1 run. Could easily have been 2 hits if he had fielded that chopper back to the mound. That ball hit well down the line, but he hooked it foul. Told you how League City is in between Houston and Galveston. Ellsworth, Maine is between Bangor and Bar Harbor. Very close to Acadia National Park.
I've never been to Maine before.
Never been to Maine?
Never been to Maine.
It is vacation land.
That's what Mike Gleason said also.
Well, I went to summer camp in Maine for 12 years.
Wow.
And have fond memories. Acadia National Park is worth your time, Steve Woodard.
I will write that down, actually.
Look out, Brad Smith, in that third base coach's box. Gotta stay alert. Young reflexes. Two-two pitch, and that is outside. The city of Ellsworth got its name in 1800, and it was named, as we see the 3-2. That's ball 4 up high, and the perfect game is over. All the way to second base goes Curtis, and he's going to dive in safely. This is like banana ball.
Wow. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Just a little casual going to retrieve the wild pitch. Walk and a wild pitch. And he's just hanging out.
He's just standing. Tyler Robinson, he's just standing there. That's very. I don't know if he thought he was going to hit the wall and bounce back, or I don't know.
So, potential tying run in scoring position for Miles Palmer. Any fans on the first bunt attempt, Hunter Curtis is going to be telling his friends about the double he got when he took ball 4. Anyway, RBI opportunity for Miles Palmer. Looper out to center. Kyler Thompson is in the right spot for out number 1. Curtis back to second. City of Ellsworth named in the year 1800 after one of the United States founding fathers, Oliver Ellsworth, who was a framer of the Constitution. He was a senator from Connecticut. He was also the 3rd Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, nominated by George Washington.
Wow.
Kablinski was asking for time, did not get it granted, and then takes a strike. This one popped in foul ground. Bryce Smith giving it a look, and he's got room.
Yeah, second time today that Bryce Smith's pretty familiar with that spot over there.
That's a big out for Tyler Austin.
Third baseman number 9, Davey Ball.
Now, I don't want to draw too many direct comparisons, but on Thursday, Cheyenne, Wyoming's only base runner was the leadoff man to start the top of the fourth. Mason Tafoya drew a leadoff walk, and that was the only base runner all game long against Jacob Sear. Ways to go, but Tyler Austin trying to pitch around a leadoff walk here in the fourth. Hunter Curtis has been the only runner for Ellsworth, Maine.
You know what I meant to ask? They're staying at the same hotel, and I've not had a chance to talk to Mr. David Baugh about if he got any phone calls after getting sick over at first base. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a baseball field before.
I got to imagine that some folks that knew him were watching and either gave him a hard time or wanted to make sure he was okay.
Well, we got Andrea gave us the replay in slow motion on my screen up here later in the day, so it wasn't too pretty.
No, I'm glad I didn't see it again. Ball 3 now to Baugh. Grounded to shortstop his first time up today. Called strike 2. 5 strikeouts so far for Tyler Austin, trying to hang on to this 1-0 lead for League City, Texas. Popped up, shallow right. The second baseman, Shuttlesworth, gives way to the right fielder, Raker Allen, and he dropped it. And the game will be tied as Curtis comes in to score on a fielding error with 2 outs in the fourth.
Wow. Looked like Shuttlesworth going back and was underneath it, and he gets called off and just didn't have his feet on the ground. He had to jump for it.
Ellsworth still alive here in the fourth. Andre Lozano steps in, fouls it off. Big play in this game. Ellsworth, Maine trying to get their first win. It's a foul ball.
Very unusual for this League City, Texas team. I tell you, they don't make, they play great defense.
Raker Allen got the start in left field in the first game here in Shelby. He's in right field today. 0-2, and that's in there. The 6th called third strike of the game for Tyler Austin. But League City's lead is no more. Unearned run ties it up.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
I watched my sons played, like they played like in the Junior Legion program and Legion programs. It was good for them. I think anytime you can play, it's good for you. And so the more games you play, the more you learn.
Ellsworth, Maine still does not have a hit in the game, but Hunter Curtis has scored a run, courtesy of the walk and the Raker Allen error on the fly ball with 2 outs in the top of the fourth.
Well, let me ask you a question, since I'm trying to figure out how you score that. So the walk, where he got to second, do you give an error to the catcher for not going after the ball, or you can't really, can you?
It's at the discretion of the official scorer. They did not give him an error for that. It was ruled a wild pitch. And
you know what I'm saying, though? I mean,
yeah.
How do you get to second? Usually you just gonna get to first. Do you give him? That's weird.
I have long argued for official scorers having more discretion and more authority in terms of the way they score a game. For instance, I think you should be able to assume a double play.
I agree.
The rules of baseball don't let you do that.
I wish they did, because it would have saved me a lot of earned runs.
That's right.
You know, Mike Gleason had a very, very good point the other night. He's like, well, you know, you get a sac fly for a ball, you got a runner on third, and you hit a deep fly ball, you get them in. But when the infield's back and you hit a ground ball and you're getting them in, why shouldn't you get a sack for that also? Just little things, you know. But it just don't work that way.
Nope. No RBI for David Baugh, who reached on the fielding error from Raker Allen. But a walk, a wild pitch, and an error officially bring in the game's tying run. 2-2 to Smith. Hit hard, but right at Dawson Curtis at first base. One away.
Good job, Dawson Curtis there. You see the flash in the leather a little bit.
Are there other things about baseball that you would change if you were in charge?
I mean, baseball's changed so much over the years. Since I was out of baseball in 08, it's changed dramatically with the pitch clock and the bases. The bases are bigger. You can't pick you only get to pick the first 2 times. You know, it's just a lot of different things.
How do you feel about the extra inning rule in the regular season with the
international
second
rule?
Base?
Why change it? I mean, I just don't.
Why change it to end the game faster?
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm with you. I am a traditionalist in that regard.
You know, then you're like playing with records too. You know, once you start doing all this stuff and you start playing with records in the record books.
1-1, cut and a miss. Well, it's obviously something the American Legion had to deal with.
Yeah.
Half a decade ago, when they changed from 9-inning games to 7-inning games.
Which I think was a plus, because, you know, you and I both know we'd get into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning of a game, and it's tough. You don't have any pitching. Imagine being here now doing a 9-inning game and you don't have any pitching. It'd be tough.
One, 2 from Curtis. Raker Allen stays alive.
And I think this is the year that American Legion does go over some of the rules and things for, you know, for the upcoming years. Rule changes, maybe. Somebody brought up the rule change. It was just me talking. I mean, I don't know if this even be brought up, but one of the guys here brought up the idea of, you know, you got to go 5 innings to, you know, to get a win in a 9-inning game. Well, we're playing 7-inning games. Why not make it 4 innings to get a win in American Legion? Yeah.
That's a good point. Called third strike to Raker Allen. He goes down looking.
Yeah, and there's Hunter Curtis's 4th strikeout of the day. I tell you what, he's throwing the ball extremely well. See that curved ball that just come right back over the plate? Good pitch. What do you think? What rules would you?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, could you abolish the win and the loss for the pitcher altogether? Because often they are not representative of that. Well, that's the other thing. I think official scorers should be more, perhaps, aggressive in deciding who the winning pitcher and the losing pitcher is sometimes. But even still, you could pitch great and get the loss, and you can pitch poorly and get the win.
Right.
So what does your win-loss record really mean?
You know,
you're uncomfortable with
no,
what I just said.
no. I'm just. I mean, I agree. I mean, I see what you're saying. I just, you know, I've had a bunch of losses where I've pitched great, you know, over the years.
Chopper to the right of Curtis, charging at second, and Sullivan able to make the play, charging in. 1, 2, 3 inning for Hunter Curtis. Well, through 4 innings, left-hander Tyler Austin, 55 pitches, 37 strikes, a slew of called third strikes, 6 of them. only one unearned run allowed. He has not surrendered a hit yet today.
Yeah, he's looked amazing, Evan. I tell you what, you see him coming off there excited, and man, this League City, Texas team has pitched extremely well here at this World Series.
It's been historic in a variety of ways.
And they're not done yet.
Only thing that might stop Tyler Austin is that bug that's been circling, still hanging around the pitcher's mound area. Hey, Hunter Curtis has not been too far away from Tyler Austin in terms of stuff and effectiveness.
Yeah, he's pitched really good. You know, except for just honestly an inning against Wyoming for Maine. He got beat there at the very, the last at bat. Against Alabama, a bad inning where there was so many walks. I mean, Maine's right in this thing. They could have won it 2 games.
Dawson Curtis leading off here in the 5th. Tyler Austin quickly ahead of him, 0-2. And that hit him.
Yep.
Nicked him on the 0-2 count. And it's another base runner for Ellsworth, Maine, without a hit.
Number 13, Colin Sullivan.
You've called a lot of games in the minor leagues and stuff. Have you ever called a no-hitter in the minor leagues?
I did.
Did you? Can you remember who it was?
It was a left-hander named Nathan Moreau. And he was making his high A debut for the Frederick Keys Orioles affiliate against the Salem Red Sox, the team I was working for. Fly ball out to left field. Anchondo going back, and he can't get it. Curtis to third, and he's going to be waved around. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is late. And Ellsworth, Maine finally has its first hit and its first lead of the day.
Yeah, what a great job of hitting, and just out of the reach, Evan, just right up against that wall right there. Gets away for their first hit, and you see Dawson Curtis just beating the tag there at home plate.
That was a closer play than I expected it to be.
Yes, me too, and gives Maine that lead of 2-1 now.
Brett Bragdon, first pitch swinging out to left center. Thompson shades over and makes the catch for out number 1 here in the 5th. It just goes to show you, we're talking about Tyler Austin's potential no-hitter, and now he's in line for the loss.
Yep.
Long way to go. Middle of the 5th in this 7-inning game. I mentioned the Nathan Moreau game that I mentioned sticks out because it was a 9-inning game. You see a bunch of 7-inning no-nos in the minor leagues, I feel like. But this was the 9-inning no-no, and it was his first ever start at that level. And he had just come up from Delmarva, the South Atlantic League low A affiliate. And I had used to work for Delmarva. So that one certainly sticks out. There's some other 7-inning no-nos that don't stand out as much. Called another 9-inning no-hitter in college baseball maybe a decade or so ago at Wake Forest. Brian Holmes no-hit the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Come on, let me see that spot, kid.
But I will not forget the name Jacob Sear for a very long time.
Me either.
What was the closest you came to a no-no?
I threw a one-hitter my first game in the big leagues.
That's right.
But I gave up a hit the very, very first batter of the game.
Who got that hit?
Otis Nixon.
That's right.
Otis led off with a double, and then
We've talked about this in the
Yeah.
past. I remember. I was a big Otis Nixon fan because I like guys that were fast.
Yeah, Otis and I do camps and stuff together. Actually, I'm playing his golf tournament in 3 weeks. And then I had another no-hitter going until the 8th inning. Last start of the year at Dodger Stadium. I think it was in '98. I'd have to go back and look, but he gave up a hit in the 8th.
What was your favorite road ballpark to pitch in?
Wrigley Field. I love Wrigley. Gave up some long home runs at Wrigley, but
Ball flies there.
I hope, and being part of history, yes, okay. I gave up a ball that was hit the longest home run ever at Wrigley Field, across the street on top of the roof.
Congratulations.
To Glen Allen Hill. 500 feet.
Off the end of the bat and popped up in the infield. The third baseman, Jackson Higgins, has it for the out. Did Glen Allen ever thank you?
You know what? It's crazy because he and I do interviews together about this all the time. So it was the 20th anniversary, like 2 years ago, and he and I were doing, with Fox doing an interview together about me giving a home run up to him, and he still hasn't sent me a bat. He was supposed to. Yeah, all you gotta do is type in Glen Allen Hill rooftop, and it'll pop right up.
Yeah. Do you remember the pitch? Did you know it was a poor pitch?
He had every pitch I ever threw him. He was like a guy that just killed me for some odd reason. Just a fastball and went right to his bat.
Some guys are like that. That ball hammered toward the gap in left center. Cut off by Anchondo, but here comes the third main run of the game. Sullivan around to score on the RBI knock from Hunter Curtis, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, and like we talked in the opening, Maine's trying to get out of here with a win, and see Hunter Curtis right there with a ball hit right into the gap, and plenty of time to get Mr. Sullivan home.
Tyler Austin no longer cruising along. Nice backhand stab by Higgins at third. And a good fine throw across the diamond. And right now for League City, they just don't want to have to use another arm. They want to keep the rest of their staff fresh. So they just want Tyler Austin to get 6 more outs. But Maine looking for their first win. They got a 3-1 lead through 4.5.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
Yeah, I played Legion from 13 to 15, and I remember there was a lot of focus on fundamentals, especially with my team. So we did a lot of bunting, a lot of defensive work. So I think it put me in a good place with knowing the basics of the game and the important fundamentals to be able to build off that as I got older. So I mean, that was definitely valuable, but there was also a lot of good competition, especially in our little conference or whatever. So I mean, overall it was great. It was great for me.
There's so many former Legion ball players in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, 10 different U.S. presidents were members of the American Legion. And every year, the field is whittled from literally thousands of teams down to 64 teams that make the regionals, down to the final 8. And then starting tomorrow, Woody, the final 4. League City, Texas trailing 3-1 here in the 5th, but League City, Texas knows that they will be one of the final 4 here in 2023 in Shelby.
Yes, they will be, and I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, we were asking earlier, the first Texas team to ever make it to the semis.
In the current format, yikes, Hunter Curtis misses up and in and puts the leadoff man aboard as Kablinski takes it off the shoulder.
The second baseman, number 19, James Shuttleworth.
I beg your pardon. It's Robinson taking it off the shoulder. Robinson on base for the second time. And here's James Shuttlesworth, who struck out looking his first time up. Every year, the American Legion World Series champ gets to go to the actual World Series, which is an incredible perk. Folks from Troy, Alabama got to enjoy that last year in the Fall Classic.
Yeah, they had a blast.
I was meaning to ask you, did you listen to Tom Walter, the Wake Forest coach, speak the other night?
I was having to work to try to get all this stuff done. I was wanting to go and actually, you know, wanted to go before and meet him, and I just couldn't get away with what I was doing. But they said that he, you know, he gave a good talk.
Yeah, Tom Walter, the Wake Forest baseball coach, after the best season in Wake Forest history since the Demon Deacons won the College World Series in 1955. Wake finished de facto third this year. I don't know if you were watching that deciding game between Wake and LSU with Skeens and Rhett Lauder trading zeros into the 11th inning, but it was one of the best elimination intense college baseball games, I mean, in the history of the sport. And I know that could sound hyperbolic, but it was true. That was an all-timer.
Yes, it was. I'm an LSU fan, you know.
That's right. Out to left field. Ball takes care of it for out number one. Hang on a second.
I signed with Tennessee, I did.
And you're from Alabama, and you're an Alabama fan.
Well, Alabama and Auburn, and yeah.
They did not give you
Well, no, they did. I had full rides to both schools, but I chose Tennessee over LSU. I had a friend that was at LSU, and I decided to wanted to go to Tennessee. So A.J. Brzezinski and I, which A.J. caught in the big leagues for like 22 years.
So
went on all our visits together and signed at Tennessee together, and that's when Todd Helton was there. They went to the World Series back-to-back years.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let you get off the hook. You said you're an LSU fan.
Baseball. I'm a Duke basketball, LSU baseball, and Alabama football.
That's not how it's supposed to work. You pick a school, Steve.
I don't. I pick individual sport. I went to
Why not Alabama baseball?
I don't know. It's just never been. They've never produced the way they should have, I feel.
Man.
You know, I had offered Alabama, but you know, I loved LSU. You know, Skip Bertman was there at that point in time, and Todd Walker was there, and we chose Tennessee.
Could be two. Sullivan to Kablinski, and it's not in his glove, but he's going to pick it up and tag out Robinson. That's a lucky break for Ellsworth, Maine, after what very well could have been a fielding error out there. Anchondo safe at first, but Robinson out at second.
I don't even think Robinson slid, did he?
Well, he thought he was going to be out.
Oh, yeah, so he didn't even touch the bag, did he? Interesting.
I guess that just goes as the 4-6 fielder's choice, as if he didn't drop it.
So who's and Robinson's our catcher also, right?
Yep.
I got you.
Kyler Thompson lines it right back to the mound, and Curtis snares it. The quick reflexes for the freshman of the year in his Division III college conference last year. Flash in the leather. A snow cone on a hot day in Shelby.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
Or the best experience for me, it was a small, family-oriented thing that, if you wanted to play, you had the ability to.
It's been a strange game in a variety of ways. League City got on the board first. Second inning double from Tyler Robinson. That made it 1-0. In the fourth, Ellsworth Maine didn't have a hit, but a walk and an error tied the game at 1 apiece. And then after a hit batter to start the fifth, Colin Sullivan with a booming fly to the track and left to bring home the go-ahead run. A few batters later, Hunter Curtis tacks on another, and it's 3-1 Ellsworth Maine as we head to the sixth.
And I tell you what, Tyler Austin, he's pitched a very good game.
Yet he's in position for the loss.
But Curtis has been better.
Yeah. Well, depends. Curtis has allowed 3 hits. Austin's only allowed 2.
I pay attention to those runs on the board, though. So.
That's fair. His defense has betrayed him a little bit with a couple fielding errors. Here's Kablinski leading off the sixth.
And you got to wonder yesterday what would have happened if Peter Kablinski would have had 10 more pitches.
That's always a factor. Toward the gap, and it's a layout grab from Eric Anchondo for out number 1.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Eric Anchondo laid out and does a little Superman slide across the grass. Great play, Eric Anchondo.
Recent grad at Clear Falls High School in League City. Strike 1 in there to David Baugh. Cleanup hitter. He's 0 for 2, but he did reach on the error that drove in the tying run. To the backhand of the shortstop, Bourgeois. And man, Chase Bourgeois has been smooth out there.
Yes, he is. I tell you what, he makes it look pretty easy. We've seen some good shortstops here over the years. Had Nate Rose with Idaho Falls, the shortstop from Hawaii that was so good. Man, we've had some good ones.
Now batting number 25, Isaac McDonnell.
Hunter Hirayama was the name you're looking for, the
Hunter
shortstop
Hirayama
from Hawaii.
Yes.
Pays off to use the same scorebook multiple Legion World Series in a row.
Come on, strike, strike.
This is Isaac McDonnell. Pinch hitting.
This is his first bat of the World Series, I think, isn't it? Yep.
Getting an opportunity.
Yes, he is.
Tyler Austin looking to finish the sixth.
Wow.
That's ball 4. McDonald will take the 2-out walk. So here's Hunter's little brother Dawson. We're going to get a pinch runner. Isaac draws the walk, and Joey Wellman-Klaus gets to run.
First base, number 2, Joey Wellman-Klaus.
Wonder if Joey will try to steal a bag here with 2 outs.
Never know. You got the lead right here. I would. Got the lead and got the.
Number 7, Dawson Curtis.
And he's going to get second much easier than he might have thought. Class of 2026, which means he's just going to be a sophomore next year. Just finish his freshman year.
Yep.
RBI opportunity. Foul tips into the catcher's mitt. This game bears no consequence in the seeding for tomorrow. Because even if League City loses this game, Cheyenne, Wyoming is in the clubhouse, you could say, at 2-1. And if League City also finishes 2-1, they have the head-to-head, courtesy of Jacob Sear and Bryce Smith.
Yep.
Kyler Thompson.
And who was on third base that game? I was trying to think who was on third. I don't think it was Higgins. Higgins is behind the plate, right? So whoever was sitting in the right spot at third base on that line drive there in the last 6th inning, I think.
I think it was Higgins.
Was it Higgins on third?
Curtis goes down by way of the K, and we're done here in the 6th. But Ellsworth, Maine, trying to finish this one. Moments ago, the first pitch here in the last of the 6th fouled off by Chase Bourgeois. So it's an 0-1 count as Hunter Curtis gets ready to fire his 71st pitch. 50 strikes out of the 70 pitches so far, and that's a hard hit knock up the middle for Chase Bourgeois. Heart of the League City lineup coming up here in the last of the 6th, and in a 2-run game. Even though the League City post 5-5-4 squad is already in the semis, Ronnie Oliver brought the entire team in for a huddle after that top of the 6th inning, and it looked like trying to fire them up for a rally here because he wants to go 3-0 in pool play.
Yes, he does. There's Coach Ronnie Oliver right there. Been around this game for a very long time.
3.5 decades with this Legion program alone. Check swing called strike on Jackson Higgins, who's hit the ball hard a couple of times. Talk about a up the middle approach. He's lined out to second. He's lined out to short.
Now just got to line out to the pitcher, right?
Behind 1-2 after waving through that curveball.
I tell you what, for somebody that don't pitch in college, he's done a heck of a job.
Out to center. Palmer, a few steps back to make the catch. Bourgeois stays at first. Here comes Bryce Smith, who along with Kyler Thompson has been the most dangerous bat in this League City lineup. Runner bluffed like he was going. The catcher fires down, but Bourgeois stopped after a step.
Yeah, and Koblinski was, the ball bounced and Koblinski saved it from going into the outfield.
Right back up the middle, past Koblinski. And that will get Bourgeois up to second. Smith with his second hit of the game. He's 4 for 9 here at the American Legion World Series.
And he does, you know, this entire team does a good job of staying inside the ball, thinking about going up the middle, other way.
Aiden Raker Allen has not hit the ball in play yet. 2 strikeouts. Wave and a miss in the dirt. Bourgeois to third. The throw bounces off Bragdon's glove, and everybody's safe, including Smith, who moved up to second.
Yeah, and I don't think Mr. Allen, I don't think he thought he was going to go on that one and didn't get it out of his hand quick enough, and that was a great slide there, Mr. Bourgeois.
Ronnie Oliver now having a chat with Raker Allen, who's perhaps in his head a little bit.
Yeah, after swinging at some of these pitches he swung at, the ball bounced in pretty much out in front of the plate, didn't it?
Aggressive base running from Bourgeois, down by 2 runs, but it pays off. Infield comes in for Ellsworth, Maine.
And my next question is to you, Evan, is why is the infield in?
Well, you're the analyst.
I don't know. That's my question. I'm asking. I've never seen. I mean, why? You got a 3-1 lead. Why are you bringing the infield in? So I have no idea. I don't even know what to say right now. I'll be trying to get an out. A little bloop over the infield's 2 runs. I mean, you're playing back. You know.
I'm with you. I
don't get it.
agree. Raker Allen gets a hold of one. Out to left, Baugh able to pull it down, but the sacrifice fly will slice the gap in half as Bourgeois scores the 2nd run of the day for League City.
And there we go, talking about situational hitting right there. And Mr. Allen did exactly what Mr. Oliver wanted, and big sac fly.
Yeah, you feel good for Raker Allen after seeing a couple of the previous swings. So Ferraro, runner goes from second. Ferraro lines it down the right field line in fair territory. Lozano has the room and puts it away. And the potential tying run stranded at second base. We got a 3-2 game after 6 in the first of 3 today here in Shelby.
When our nation's veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected with Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, there is a new war raging. Unfortunately, it is being fought in the hearts and minds of those who served. Veteran suicide is the most important issue facing veterans today, and too many are battling it alone. Be the one to help the American Legion end veteran suicide.
Just being around with the guys, you know, and now we can, you know, Chris Franca and Toby and some of the guys that I play with, we talk about it, you know. Yeah, man, remember, you know, 15 years ago when, and those are, like I say, memories that you don't trade it for anything. It's those are things that get stuck with you.
The 96th American Legion World Series heading into day 4 with the standings looking like this. League City and Florence atop their respective divisions. League City and Cheyenne, Wyoming headed to the semis. Mathematically, all 4 teams in the Stripes division are still alive heading into the final 2 games of pool play. It'll It'll be Lincoln, Nebraska and Cedar Rapids, Iowa at 4 p.m. today, and then Florence, South Carolina will try to stay undefeated against Brooklawn, New Jersey at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that right there with you because you understand it all, the breakdowns, and it can be very complicated.
Winning is good.
Yes. And not giving up runs.
Yes. We'll cover all the scenarios as we get to the second game of the day. First pitch swinging here in the 7th. Sullivan grounds out to third.
And something you also said in the break that is going to be a plus for Texas is if he can get through this without having to be taken out of the game.
Yeah, he started this inning with 87 pitches, gets that one pitch, one out. You know, really the big goal for him is to get this inning done in 18 pitches or less.
And save pitching for tomorrow.
One and one to Brett Bragdon, the catcher. Ellsworth, Maine, trying to get their first win ever at the American Legion World Series. The Ellsworth Legion program founded 1979. So closing in on a half century of Legion ball in Ellsworth, Minnesota, Ellsworth, Maine, excuse me. They lost a game at regionals, but it was after they had already clinched a spot in the regional final. So they got blasted 13-1 against Greece, New York, but took care of Nashua, New Hampshire.
Question for you. So now we've got him going from the stretch with nobody on. I mean, just it's been some crazy stuff I've seen. I don't know.
And he loses Bragdon, a one-out walk. Something was not comfortable.
Yeah, I guess so.
Number 1, Wyatt Bragdon.
So Brett Bragdon is at first. And here's his younger brother, Wyatt. And after the walk, Tyler Austin's pitch count is getting a little close to 105. A little too close for comfort. There is no action in the League City bullpen, so if there's going to be a change, it's presumably one of the players that's already in the game.
Yeah, they had somebody last inning or inning before, but nobody's down there right now. It was very quiet.
Austin delivers. Hard shot, that's through the hole on the right side. The Bragdon brothers have set the table at the corners with one out here in the 7th.
Number 6.
Back to the top of the order for the pitcher, Hunter Curtis, who's in line to get a win. But he may face someone else in his 4th plate appearance of the day. See if Ronnie Oliver's going to make a change or if this is just going to be a quick pep talk. And Tyler Austin is one pitch away from getting a double play potentially. See how he's feeling.
Like he goes, how you feel?
Deploying a hidden ball trick here. Where's the baseball?
So who are we going to have? Number 3.
Scott Martinez. Interesting. Pitching change. 2 on.
Yeah, everything's taken care of.
Hey, Jamie.
Oh, what am I up to? Just visiting a special secret client. I can't say who it is, but let's just say she bundled her dream house and her dream car for round-the-clock protection with Progressive.
Oh.
She has another house in Malibu. She's been an astronaut, an architect, a CEO.
We're in front of her house, dude.
Well, I'd love to tell you who her boyfriend is, but I don't think I can. I'd love to tell you, but I don't think I can.
Barbie, in theaters now.
I started club soccer way later than most girls. I wasn't at the level that they were, but you have to fight for what you want.
So after 98 pitches, 6 1/3 innings, Tyler Austin gives way to Scott Martinez. And Martinez will try to strand a couple of inherited runners here with 1 out in the 7th of a 1-run ball game.
Yes, he will, and don't have any stats on him other than he threw 1 inning in the regional with 1 strikeout and didn't give up any runs. So just 1 appearance. So like we said, trying to save some pitching, and here you go. Here's Mr. Martinez.
Number 6, Hunter Curtis.
Hunter Curtis has been in the middle of everything today. Pitching, hitting, defense. Runners at the corners, and he swings at the first pitch. Pops it foul and out of play for strike 1. A single, a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. And he's also scattered 5 hits in 6 innings, in which he's allowed just the 2 runs.
He would love to aid his calls here. Get that guy in from third.
An insurance policy is available for him to take. And that will work. It's going to fall in, and it's 4-2. Maine adds to its lead. Second RBI of the day for Hunter Curtis.
Hey, roll it up here.
Center fielder number 3, Miles Palmer.
He didn't crush it,
No,
but
he
he hit
didn't.
it to the right spot.
It goes down in the box score as a line drive, but he aids to his calls, like you said, bringing in one of the Bragdon brothers.
Palmer fouls it off. Yep, Brett Bragdon scored. Wyatt moves up to second. First and second with 1 out for Miles Palmer, who's still looking for his first hit here in Shelby. He's 0 for 9.
And he would like to add an insurance policy here also.
He's due.
And drive in the other Bragdon brother.
Behind 0-2. Kiblinski on deck. Good breaking ball. Martinez strikes out Palmer. Route number 2 here in the 7th.
Yeah, good curveball there from Mr. Martinez. He's ready to go.
Number 12, Peter Koblinski.
Koblinski 0 for 3 today. 1 for 8 in Shelby, and off the end of the bat, Martinez to first to retire the side. Maine gets 1 run on 2 hits and a walk. Strands a pair. It's a 2-run. So Hunter Curtis trying to get 3 more outs and earn the win. With the bat, he's got 2 hits, a walk, 2 RBIs. And on the mound, he has kept Maine in the game, 6 innings, 4 strikeouts. Just the 2 runs allowed. And a great opportunity here for Maine to experience the taste of victory. To finish their season. Very few teams get to end their season with a win. And while, look, they suffered a 2-1 loss in heartbreaking fashion against Wyoming. They couldn't throw strikes in their first game and fell 13-3. But this is a Maine team in their very first ever trip to Shelby. To be a part of this, to get a win, would feel good. Especially if, you know, League City goes on to win this thing, then they can be like, well, we were the last team to beat them.
Yeah, and you beat the defending champ. You could have beat the defending champs too. You know, just a little bit better game there in that first one. Could have beat, you know, they've played good, man. I tell you, just with just a couple of little things.
7-8-9 due up for League City. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyler Robinson, who has not made it out yet in the game. RBI double in the second, hit by a pitch in the 5th. To Kablinski at short. 1 away. James Shuttleworth due up next.
Second baseman, number 19, James Shuttlesworth.
Ball 1 inside. Once again, League City's already clinched the Stars pool. They'll play in the second semifinal tomorrow night. Tournament began for League City with a no-hitter in game 1, and then a walk-off win over the reigning national champions. Storybook start. They're in danger of suffering their first loss in pool play and leaving Florence, South Carolina, as the only team here in Shelby that will remain unblemished. Of course, that could change later today against the all-time winningest program from Brooklawn, New Jersey.
Yes, that would be a good one.
Three-one pitch to Shuttlesworth. High chopper. Kablinski again. 2 gone.
He's good up there short. I tell you what, pitched a great game yesterday and playing a great shortstop today. Good ball player. It's been fun to watch.
Left fielder, number 13, Eric Anchondo.
Got that good arm, and there's that good stretch there by Mr. Curtis. Wow, got it.
Anchondo, last chance to first base. Curtis boots it, and League City is not done yet. They will get the tying runner to the plate here in the 7th in the form of Kyler Thompson.
You know, and I'm not sure if even if it would have bounced off, went to the second baseman, Hunter wasn't over to cover first anyway, so wouldn't have been able to flip it to him.
Well, if he fields that cleanly, I think he's
Yeah, oh yeah, it's over, yeah. But when it bounced off, I thought the second baseman was going to get it, and he could have flipped it to the pitcher.
So Brad Smith, the 23-year-old skipper of this Ellsworth Legion team, comes out to the mound. This team known as the Trenton Acadians. Magical run through the Northeast region after winning their first state title in program history.
The center fielder, number 2, Kyler Thompson.
Kyler Thompson, he's 0 for 3 today, but we've talked about how good of a hitter he has been, not just this year, but last year as well.
And he hit the ball hard last night. You know, Curtis stabbed at it with a little snow cone, you said.
Maine with 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. That error was on that last play. League City, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. Excuse me, swing, another chance for Kablinski, and a good throw will end the game and earn Ellsworth, Maine their first ever win at the American Legion World Series. A complete game for Hunter Curtis. He also drove in 2 runs. Maine gets the taste of victory. And League City, Texas, unbeaten no more, but semifinals bound. We'll see the boys from Texas tomorrow night.
Yeah, let's go to Maine here and, congratulate them for getting here. How about Hunter Curtis? He's the MVP of the day. I tell you what, like you said, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and complete game, and he'll always remember this. And then you go over to League City, Texas, and man, they're ready, hopefully, to go tomorrow night for the semis. They're just going to be sitting around tonight and waiting to see who they're going to be facing, Evan.
Yep, that's the story of the rest of the day. We got to figure out the Stripes division, Woody. We got 2 more games. The first one coming up about 70 or so minutes from now between Iowa and Nebraska.
I'm looking forward to it.
Ellsworth, Maine gets the W, a 4-2 win behind Hunter Curtis. Quirky ball game, but Maine gets the victory to start our triple header on this Sunday afternoon at the American Legion World Series. We're not done dancing. We still got 2 more games to play. We'll talk to you in just over an hour. But until then, for Steve Woodard and our entire crew, Evan Lepler saying so long for now from Keeter Stadium in Shelby, North